Hey friends, how's it going? Jim Gale here, Nick Atkinson behind the camera.
What's up, guys? It's been a while. How are you doing?
We're staying here at our great friend's house, Brian and Christie's, while we're in process of moving. And throughout this process, we've had to deal with a lot of different people with a lot of different ideas and perceptions about what reality is and what's fair and what this and that. And I'll tell you, we've had some pretty interesting experiences. And it got me thinking about this idea of how to deal with people who've got a different perception than we do about what's true, what's fair, and so on, right? And it really brought me back through a whole process that I've had of starting and owning and operating many companies. I had, my company had about 480 loan officers. And if you ever seen the movie The Big Short, loan officers are typically, 28-year-old male, which are partiers and all this. So I dealt with a lot of different people. In fact, I'm sure that I've had more learning lessons and I've had more mistakes with personal communication than just about anybody watching this video. But from that, I've learned an immense amount. A lot of you know that I was also a community developer in Costa Rica. Now that is an amazing experience because you take a foreigner, put them in a foreign country with a bunch of other foreigners from around the world who have amazingly different perspectives on politics and religion and science and what is sustainable and what's not sustainable and so on. And I'll tell you what, folks, I have dealt with more diversity in belief systems than most. And like I said, I've made more mistakes, and I want to get those out there so I can share with you why I feel like I really am an expert in this piece of the puzzle. How to deal with crazy people. First of all, you got to look in the mirror. Because if we don't, first of all, engage ourselves and look in the mirror and say, okay, what is the outcome that I'm looking for in this conversation with this person who is oftentimes animated in a polar opposite perspective or perception of reality than I am, for instance. And I say, what is that person thinking, and what validity does that person have to be thinking what they think? And sometimes we ask that question sincerely, and there is very little validity that the other person has. But if we ask it sincerely, almost every time we can learn something from the experience. And that's what's the most important piece of the puzzle. Every time we get in a fight with somebody, then we've got to step back and say, okay, how could I do it better next time? Because there will be a next time unless you learn. And I think that's how the universe or God or however you want to put it, I think that's what it's supposed to be. Until we learn the lesson, we're going to keep on repeating the same result. And if we don't like the result, then we've got to change it. So start by looking in the mirror and taking what's called second position. Doing your best to go into the other person's reality and look at yourself through their reality. And if you have trouble with that, then ask them. If you're in a good enough relationship where you can say, please give me your reasoning for how you think what you think regarding this particular topic. And they'll be happy to. They'll be happy to, and oftentimes in a way that you'll have to take a lot of deep breaths and you'll have to really focus on what your objective is. My objective is to learn something so I can avoid this pain next time.